I needed some beauty rest. I needed it. Up till real late last night looking through all this stuff. I couldn't wake up that early.
I mean, I slept pretty late today. I mean, I slept till like 6:45, man.
There
So
you go.
like I had plenty like to get
I
to the
ended up
game.
going to sleep at around 5, so we just missed each other.
Yeah, I got a couple of props going and this one, but anyway, yeah, we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of me and Sam rambling. Of
Yes.
course,
We love
this
to
is
ramble over here.
um, but yes, we'll be going through the game picks. We did not get on early enough to give our picks for the Ravens and Titans game.
I had the under
The
in this
Ravens,
game anyway. The good old the London under, the Lunder. So
yeah,
now I'm just
the
riding
one,
out the Lunder.
yeah,
Amber the
we got
Lunder.
the Ravens. We get the Ravens up 18-6. I
In a
had the Ravens winning this
barnyard
game. It's
burner of
probably
a
my
game for anyone who's a holder of Nick Folk or Justin Tucker in fantasy football. Justin Tucker has 4 field goals. Nick Folk has 2. Never mind. Not Nick Folk owners, but Justin
yeah,
Tucker owners. Going crazy.
yeah, not a very exciting game going on here. So the first game of the 1 o'clock slate, we've got the Niners and the Browns. Deshaun Watson will not be playing again. PJ Walker is making the start for the Browns. So the Niners will win. Spread is 9.5. I have the Niners covering nine and a
Yeah,
half.
I do
In my
too. I don't
parlay
feel
state.
great about it just because I'm a little upset at myself for not placing this earlier in the week when I kind of knew Deshaun Watson wasn't going to play, but I kind of wasn't paying attention to the lines. Real goofball move on my part. I think they were -6 before the news that he got ruled out, or at least before the
I
news.
actually, I mean, I had the minus, yeah, I had the minus 9.5 a few days ago.
Yeah, but
So,
right before came out that he was unlike that he wasn't practicing, it was 6. Um,
uh,
so that's missed opportunity
yeah,
for me. But I still like them at 9.5. Um, there was a lot of trends that went along with it, and whatnot. But my base consensus of it is
oh,
there's a lot of
interception
rain,
by
there's
the
a lot of rain, a lot of wind. PJ Walker is playing with a bad, not bad. His right tackle is 6'8", 375 pounds, going up against Nick Bosa. I think that's just a bad matchup. Balance wise, size wise, Bosa is going to be able to speed around him. Um, on the other side,
yeah.
Jedrick Wills has been one of the worst offensive linemen in the NFL. And then in the middle, Ethan Pocic may not play the center because he has a knee, foot, and chest injury. I wouldn't expect someone with 3 injuries is able to make it. So that's a makeshift offensive line facing the 49ers in bad weather. A guy who doesn't snap it to a guy, usually to a quarterback who doesn't usually take the snaps.
I mean,
Um,
the center's a huge loss.
yeah, I think that PJ Walker is going to be pretty confused. And as long as San Francisco is able to run the ball to their normal capabilities, it should be all right. Brock Purdy also, I mean, the Browns play a lot of man defense. Purdy has a 130 passer rating versus man. So if they are able to pass the ball in the wind and rain, I trust Purdy to do it more than PJ Walker. I'll take the 9.5. There's also a stat I saw that in games where a team is favored by 9 or more, with the total being 36 or less, those teams are actually like 10-2 against the spread. So even though you'd think, oh, big spread, little small total, they probably won't cover. It's actually usually the inverse.
Huh. Good insight. Next game up, we've got the Commanders and the Falcons. Big
And I tell you, man, I
big
really
barn.
tried. I really tried to find something in this game.
I guess I'll take the Falcons. I don't know.
I lean to the
Who do you take?
over. If I had to take a team,
The over doesn't look bad.
I guess I mean Howell is bad under pressure, but the Falcons don't get pressure. But Atlanta plays a lot of man defense. Howell's not been good against man defense. Washington is not a good run defense. They're 27th in the league in rush EPA allowed. Atlanta runs the ball a ton. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I'll take Atlanta at home because they're at home. Christian Holmes and Derek Forrest also out for the secondary in Washington. Maybe that does something. So lean to Atlanta and the over, but I'd stay away if I was a betting man, which I am.
Yeah. The Dolphins and the Panthers, no question who's going to win that. Minus 14.5 is the spread. I don't play 14.5 point spreads. Like I can't. I don't play 2 touchdown spreads.
I'll look something up. I'm gonna do some live trends data look in here, and we can see exactly how often I feel like. How often does a team favored by more than 14 really hit? That's what I'm gonna check right here. If you give me one. Okay, when a team is favored by 14 or more, are they at home?
Yes.
Okay, well, the numbers are pretty even, so I guess they're pretty good at that. But the under does hit at a pretty high rate, so interesting to see if that will play a role. I mean, I'll take the Dolphins. I don't really have much fear in this line, considering what the Dolphins are doing to teams. I understand it's probably a trap. I have Miami in Survivor, so I hope it's not that big of a trap. But I also just think that there's at a certain point for Vegas where they can't put up a certain number. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that number 17. I've seen 17. I think I've even seen 18. 20 is where I think like this game is going to end up, and I honestly don't think they put a line of like minus 20 in there. You know,
I usually just don't play big spreads like that. Is it a touchdown for the touchdown?
it is, and it's ruining my lunder. So if we could chill.
18 to 12 before the field goal, the extra point. Next game up, we've got the Vikings and the Bears. The Vikings will obviously be without Justin Jefferson. Here's a weird thing that I actually usually I don't think I ever say this on this show. I am taking the Chicago Bears to win this game.
Interesting.
Got a weird gut feeling. I don't like Minnesota's defense. I think Minnesota is going to obviously struggle, but not that Bears have a great defense. I think they're going to struggle to adjust in general to not having Justin Jefferson on the field.
Okay.
It's
this
playmaker.
Disagree on.
The Bears have actually been playing decently on offense lately. I think they can score some points against the Vikings. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at it this morning. I just had a weird gut feeling, so I'm going to take the Bears.
Yeah, this is going to be our first disagreement spot of the day. I like the Vikings here. I think it's very interesting to look at how people view injury in this league, and I don't put that in a negative light. It's just more so interesting because if you look at a team like the Vikings, they're going to pass the ball a ton. The Bears have a terrible secondary. They're not missing, but they're likely to be missing Eddie Jackson. I don't necessarily know if missing Justin Jefferson is going to be the biggest deal in this game as it would be in other games. With that being said, the Bears are missing not one, not two, but their top 3 running backs. It's a team that runs the ball a lot, missing Khalil Herbert, Travis Homer, and Roschon Johnson. Now, I'm not downplaying Deonta Foreman. He's been a good step in running back wherever he's gone, and I actually think he scores today. I have him for an anytime touchdown plus 175. I just don't necessarily know if he's going to be the guy that, destroys this defense. Also, weather's not going to be good. It's going to be windy, a little bit rainy. I think that kind of plays into the tougher for Justin Fields to throw the ball scenario, especially when he's facing a Vikings team that's going to blitz 55% of the time because Brian Flores is a psycho. It's a good buy low spot, in my opinion, for the Vikings. It's a sell high spot for the Bears after they've looked good on offense in the last 2 weeks. Cousins 5-2 against the spread straight up against the Bears on the road in his career. When he's a road favorite against the Bears, he's 4-2 against the spread. Sorry, 4-0 against the spread and straight up. And he wins those games by an average of 12.5 points. Justin Fields 0-2 versus the Vikings in his career, losing each game by at least 7 points. I like the Vikings straight up money line 1 year. And I also like Deonta Foreman anytime touchdown. And I like Deonta Foreman over 1.5 receptions with a lot of checkdowns against the blitz coming. He's the only running back there. And Khalil Herbert has had multiple targets in several games this year when he's been starting at running back.
All right. I like it. Jaguars and the Colts. I am leaning Jaguars, but I do have a weird feeling about Minshew and the Colts going back against his team. I feel like that might be a little bit crazy. So I'm leaning Jaguars. What do you got?
I don't have a play on this game because to be honest, I'm scared that I want to take the Colts. I totally want to take the Colts. I think I have to. And it's not like the revenge game narrative for Gardner Minshew, although it's obviously, he knows the team he's playing.
I mean, that's there, but Minshew is a solid.
Minshew's run an offense. Steichen runs a good offensive game plan. The Jaguars were just in London for 2 straight weeks, which is tough.
Yeah, it just feels weird to me. I don't know. I'm leaning Jaguars because, technically the Jaguars should be the better team here, but I don't know. I mean, Taylor coming back, Zach Moss played great last.
Also, fun fact about this game for you. Teams coming off of a start time before 10 a.m. The week before and a start time of 1 p.m. or earlier the week before that. The under is 13-7 since 2003. It's hit 4 straight times. When the team hit the under in their previous game in that spot, the under is 9-2. For teams that are only on this 2-game, for teams that are on a 2-game early trip. And you add in that in for teams that are once again playing at 1 p.m. for a 3rd straight week, 1 p.m. or earlier, they're 6-2 to the under. It's also a divisional game. Could see the under being a good play here.
Yeah.
Colts not running the same offense as they have been the past couple of weeks, coming out slow. Jaguars coming out slow. I can honestly see the first half under being where I want to make a play, because I could definitely see it kind of going a little off the rails in the second half. But let me check what that first half total is. First half total is 21. It's a little low. The full game is 44, so I was hoping for a 22 or higher. I don't know. I like the under as a lean, and as kind of a principle in divisional games with unders, I'm going to take the team getting more than a field goal. That'll be the Colts.
All right. Next game, Saints and Texans. Another one I'm really back and forth on. So, give me something here, Sam.
This is the one. Let me tell you. So, let's start off with some stats for you. First of all, New Orleans missing the starting corner, Lonnie Johnson. Derek Carr, 6-11. Yeah, he's good. Derek Carr, 6-11-2 against the spread in his career as a road favorite of 3 or less. Since 2020, 2-8-1 in that spot against the spread. Since 2020, in that spot and playing a non-divisional opponent, 1-7 against the spread, 2-6 straight up as a favorite. That's questionable. The Saints are on the second most man coverage in the NFL because they play pretty well against it. And in man coverage, CJ Stroud is 97.1 passer rating versus man defense. Pretty good. New Orleans has not played a strong strength of the schedule. Now, before I get back into the game numbers here, I guess I'm just going to start calling it the Jimmy Graham play of the week. So, Tank Dell likely out in this game for the Texans. I'd be very surprised if he plays. Now, as I told you earlier, I'm not exactly proud of the angle of this game. The reason I'm not proud of this angle is because I don't know how to phrase this correctly. Today is Crucial Catch Day in the NFL. It is a very big day for cancer survivors. John Mechie came back from leukemia, I believe lymphoma. He's replacing Tank Dell's spot in the lineup. Last week when Tank Dell got hurt, his snap counts nearly doubled. Now, I'm just saying that if I'm an offensive coordinator and John Mechie is on my team and he's getting a lot of snaps in this game and he's facing Paulson Adebo while my other wide receiver is facing Marshawn Lattimore, because they do play man coverage, so it's going to be those matchups, I'm going to try and get something to John Mechie to score on Crucial Catch Day. So,
okay.
Also, New Orleans, as good as they are in pass defense, 6th worst in passing yardage allowed to wide receiver twos. Team target Paulson Adebo frequently, and it works. So I like John Mechie anytime touchdown plus 470 for a half unit, and first touchdown plus 2,200 for 0.25 units. I think it's a good spot for him. I think it's a good spot for his position group overall. And I don't necessarily see the Saints are not a team that comes out and scores very quickly. So I could see a couple possessions going by and them having multiple opportunities to feed him the ball there. Going back to the game itself, though, the Saints have scored 20 or fewer points in 4 of their last 5 games. Stroud really struggles under pressure, but the Saints do not get pressure, and they don't really try to. They don't blitz very much. Houston runs almost strictly zone coverage. Derek Carr much worse versus zone than he is versus man. The Texans rarely ever run cover 0 or cover 1, almost always cover 3 or cover 6. So there's not a lot of blitzing. They're not going to be able to get guys out of position. We can find one open guy with a huge blitz in his face. It's not going to happen very often. The Saints have allowed 6 more sacks than the Texans anyway. I imagine more pressure is going to be on Derek Carr. Laramie Tunsil's back at full strength on the left side. Saints coming off a huge win on the road. Texans coming off a tough loss on the road. I just really like the Texans in this spot. I have the money line for 2 units as underdogs, and I have Mechie anytime touchdown, first touchdown, and over 17.5 receiving yards.
All right. I was leaning the Texans myself. I did actually send the Texans into my ITL picks. You can ask Ernest if anyone doubts me. I did want to let Sam go
I don't
off
trust you.
I didn't have the information, but I felt like Sam was going to go the same way as me.
That good
Next
intuition?
game up, we got the Bengals. We got the Bengals and the Seahawks. I've got the Bengals here. I don't like the Seahawks pass defense, and I feel like the Bengals may have woken up. I don't know. What do you got?
I watched the film of that last Bengals game because I felt like I kind of had to. Joe Burrow was moving a lot differently than he had been in the first couple games. And at first, like the first several plays, I was like, all right, clean pocket, clean pocket, clean pocket. But he started running around. He really started to run around a lot. And that does concern me as someone who was kind of looking at the Seahawks earlier in the week. The Bengals run 3 wide receiver sets, second most in all of the NFL. Not an advantage in this game because that means Devin Witherspoon's going to be in slot coverage a lot. It's going to be rainy, slightly windy. There's just a lot about this game I'm not a huge fan of. So I gun to my head, I'll take the Bengals, but the only pick I actually have in this game is Kenneth Walker over 15.5 carries.
All right. So the next game up.
I'm just kidding. I probably isn't.
The next game, we got the Patriots and the Raiders. I'm having a tough year. I'm going to take the Patriots. I'm not going to give anyone a reason to bet on the Patriots. I'm just not I also don't bet on my team, but just so I don't sound too crazy, we do have Mr. Kenny Cotterill
Yeah,
from
it's
the
Kenny.
podcast. Pat's money line
Are you sure
today,
you
and
didn't pay
then
him to throw that in there to make you sound more sane?
I'm sure I didn't pay him to throw that in there because Kenny would not accept my money, and because of his second comment, that also wasn't me trolling. I like millennials,
Fair
which
play,
I do
Kenny.
like that he clarified that because Kenny
Fair
does
play. I
like
respect that. You came in and let us know.
trolling this. I like that clarification there. Um, what do you got, Sam?
I, breaking news, have banned myself from betting on the Patriots for the next couple of weeks. I just can't
Oh
do
yeah,
it. I really I agree with every point that Kenny's making. Bill owns McDaniels. Raiders are still not good. Raiders coming off a slightly shortened week. Raiders' worst defense the Patriots have faced yet. I genuinely I still can't bring myself to do it. Especially, can I tell you the real truth about it? Last year I had 2 or 3 units, I think, on the Patriots over the Raiders. And that fucking Jacoby Myers lateral scarred me in this game.
all right. So I since you brought that up, I
Are
saw
you talking
someone.
about that Jacoby Myers revenge game tweet I saw you mad about?
Yes, the Jacoby Myers wants revenge on the Patriots. For what? Jacoby Myers gave the Raiders the game against the Patriots last year. What does he want revenge on us for? I don't know why
No,
a
they
guy
want
who
revenge
went
on him.
and I'm just gonna
One thing I will
before
say.
I
Oh, and you're gone. Well, while Steve's coming back, I feel the need to inform the public that Malik Cunningham. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Yep, and we just switched sides. That was a little
Yeah.
weird.
Now I'm the captain now. Look at
All
me.
right, so
I'm the
all right,
captain.
so you run through the picks then.
No. I really do think the Patriots should win this game by all accounts. That doesn't mean I'm going to bet on it. I've lost too much on the last couple of weeks.
I don't bet on that anymore. But I'm not.
I will leave with you is that Malik Cunningham anytime touchdown plus 1100 is real tempting.
I mean, there's something to Malik. There's has to be something to Malik Cunningham getting a 380.
Because here's my thought process. It's even if he's being brought to play strictly quarterback, which I don't think is the case, but even if he's coming to play strictly quarterback in this game, he can still run for a touchdown. If he's being subbed in as a wide receiver,
I don't
still get. I mean, listen, I don't know his wide receiver skills, but if he's going to get wide receiver snap counts, he's faster and a lot more athletic than a lot of the other guys they got going out there. So I think
at the very least, at the very least, this means that they've been developing a package for him.
Yeah,
and they finally think it's ready.
And I'm actually putting that in my picks now.
That's at the very least. Anyway, next game, we got the Buccaneers and the Lions. I'm taking the Buccaneers. Sam, tell me I'm crazy.
You're not crazy. It's just
I get weird gut feelings.
It's a weird game. There are a lot of weird games.
It is a weird game. And when I have weird games, I kind of lean towards my gut.
Yeah. I kind of looked at more matchups in this one because, trend-wise, you said you're taking the Bucs or the Lions?
I'm taking the Bucs.
Yeah, trend-wise, that you're in good company. Jared Goff is a road favorite of 4 or less in his career, 5-7 against the spread versus non-divisional opponents, 2-5 straight up against the spread. Baker Mayfield as a home dog of 4 or less in his career, 5-3 straight up against the spread. Both of them. Market stayed at 3, despite a lot of people probably betting on the Lions. Here's where I kind of get out of whack. Last 2 years, Tampa Bay coming off the bye week, bad. really bad. I don't trust Todd Bowles on this spot. There are really good play callers on the other side of the field in Detroit. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn's not bad defensively. Um, the weather is good, so Jared Goff could easily go crazy, or he could have a down game on the road where he might I'll lean the Bucks here because once again at home getting the points. I guess that's the spot to lean on. But my favorite spot is actually Mike Evans over 63.5 receiving yards. The last time Mike Evans had 3 or fewer receptions in a game, the next game he had 10 for 207. I feel like it's quite an emphasis for this team that when Mike Evans does not get the ball a lot in the previous game, that he gets the ball a lot the next game. Especially with deep targeted passes he's facing up against Jerry Jacobs, who's 5'11". I could see them throwing jump balls to him down the field, heave it down the field type stuff. I could see him catching a Hail Mary even at the end of a half if it's a one-on-one ball. So I like Mike Evans there, but gun to my head, I guess I'll have to take the Bucks.
All right. So I'm not crazy. Next game.
Yeah. Either that or we both are. We could both be.
We've got the Rams.
As I so often
and
like
the
to say,
Cardinals.
I could be crazy. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
We got the Rams and the Cardinals next. The Rams are favored by 7 here. It feels like a bit of a low spread. And, the Cardinals have been playing better ball than I thought they would. The Rams just have more talent. I don't like it. And they're starting to get healthy. You taking the spread?
I am taking the Rams in this one. I think it's a bad matchup for the Cardinals overall. When you look at like where their strengths and weaknesses lie, first of all, losing James Conner for this one's tough. It would be really helpful for him to be able to control the ball for them here. I just don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to do the same. Josh Dobbs going to have a lot of pressure on him. I think he was injured a little bit during the week as well, some practice issues. So I'm not necessarily sure if he's at 100% or if he's been preparing for this game the same as everybody else has. Since 2020, the Rams are 3-1 against the spread as divisional home favorites after not covering the last game. The only loss was to the 49ers, who own them historically. The Rams run 3 wide receiver sets 90% of the time, most in the league. That forces the Cardinals into a nickel defense, which I don't think they're comfortable with. They're really bad on pass defense as it is. The Rams, on the other hand, have a pretty solid pass defense when it comes to stopping the wideouts. Aaron Donald is going to dominate the offensive line of the Cardinals, in my opinion. Stafford's main weakness is the blitz. He's really, really bad against blitz and under pressure. But the Cardinals are 27th in pressure percentage and blitz the 6th least of any team. Stafford's 5-3 against the spread, leads the favorite division of with a line of 5 or higher. The Rams are 3-1 against the spread versus the Cardinals, coming off a loss since 2020. Divisional road dogs of 5 or more, coming off of 2 straight double-digit losses, are 55, 70, and 4 against the spread. And when the total is 45 or higher, they are 9, 18, and 2 against the spread. In big conclusion, trends don't go their way for the Cardinals. I don't think the scheme matchup goes their way, and Stafford's weakness is not being exposed. And with them being forced to be in the nickel's guy is going to have to guard Cooper Kupp, who's often in the slot. I'll take the Rams in this one. But I also like Zach Ertz over 3.5 receptions because for as good as the Rams are against wide receivers, they're not good against tight ends. Ernest Jones, linebacker, might be missing. He's got a knee problem. And I think that with Aaron Donald getting into the backfield, the safety valve with the running backs not being the same guys that they normally are is going to become Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, by the way, has received 8 or more targets in 3 of his last 5 games. So I'll take over 3.5 receptions.
Damn it, I don't have that on FanDuel.
See, they know. They know.
Yeah.
They don't want to give it to
us. Just bastards. Scroll down here. All right, next game, we got the Eagles and the Jets. 6.5 point spread. I'm going to take the Eagles to cover 6.5. I can't imagine the Jets are going to have much success on offense against the Eagles defense. This will be a slug it out kind of game because the Jets defense is still good, which still pains me to say every week. But
They
I
are.
just, yeah,
They're also
that
missing
Eagles
sauce
defense,
PJ Reed.
yes, that does hurt. Yes, I forgot about the sauce one. But the Eagles defensive front is just too good for me to
Yeah,
really
this
see.
is. By the way,
There.
I haven't
The
done one of these
I'll say
plays since last
ball
year.
over 56.5 yards is tempting to me, but I don't want to play it because of that.
I haven't done one of these plays since last year, so it's very exciting for me. The don't overthink it play of the week is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. This is not something I feel like I have to do a lot of research into. This is one that I feel like on the surface is mispriced. I think the guys missing for the Eagles are being overvalued because they have tons of defensive depth. Guys can plug and play there. I don't think it's necessarily a big issue for them. Darius Slay would be a big issue if Zach Wilson could throw the ball, but guess what? He can't really. Not under pressure.
Yeah, no.
So I think the Eagles pretty much take them to school. And then the Jets defense, which, by the way, has been kind of underwhelming. People aren't talking about it as much, but it's been kind of underwhelming in the last couple of weeks. That Jets defense is now missing their two best corners. Don't overthink it. Take the Eagles.
Yep. Okay. Sam's favorite game of the week is up next.
Don't talk about
We
it.
get the Bills and the Giants.
No.
That
game's not happening. They canceled it. It's not happening.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't want to play a 15.5 point spread.
But you're going to, aren't you?
No, I'm not gonna. It's the Bills. I want to see them burn in hell.
Right.
I can't make the Bills win
So,
out of my
I have banned myself, as you know, from betting on the New York Giants for the rest of the season. With that being said, I would recommend a half unit wager in the Giants plus 15. There are a lot of revenge narratives here, actually, and not like fake revenge narratives, like actual. Tyrod Taylor was ousted from his starting quarterback job for Nathan Peterman after he had gone 18 touchdowns to 4 interceptions for the Buffalo Bills. They sat him for Nathan Peterman. I believe that was still Sean McDermott who did that. He was there. So that's the coach. That's the same coach that did it to him. I don't think it's as much a revenge game for Dable and Shane as everyone else is saying, but Isaiah Hodgins as well, cut from the practice squad of Buffalo, now starting receiver for the Giants. A little bit of revenge there. Also, Dable and Shane do know the Bills a little more than other teams do. Dable in particular, I think, is going to know what gets to Josh Allen more so than other people will. Also, a team being favored by 15 after coming back from London doesn't sit right with me. That's a bit like you're coming back from London.
Yeah.
A lot of travel.
I usually don't like spreads that high anyway, and that's.
Then you add in the fact that even though the offensive line is terrible, Saquon Barkley is probably going to be back. A little more impact on that offensive end, a little more juice, a little more opening of the playbook. Primetime game, unders already hit at a pretty high rate. 15 points is pretty high for one of those. You can see a half unit on the Giants being the play.
All right. Last game here. Cowboys and the Chargers. I don't feel
I haven't looked at this
overly
one.
confident.
I really haven't.
I don't feel overly confident in saying the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys. One of these it's a primetime game, and it's the Cowboys and the Chargers. So one of these teams is going to do something really stupid that costs them the game.
And I countered this, actually. I think both teams are going to be incredibly stupid in this game. This is a primetime matchup of Mike McCarthy versus Brandon Staley. Let's just call it.
Yeah. So Yeah, so someone like
I
so
think
they're both going to do
gonna
something
make
incredibly stupid,
terrible decisions.
but someone is going to make more terrible decisions.
Someone's going
And
to make the big decision that's going to cost.
yeah, someone's going to make the terrible, terrible decision that costs the game. And I gotta lean that being Brandon Staley because I think Brandon Staley's a dumbass.
I do too. I don't like what he
I'm
does.
sorry, dude. Like maybe he's probably a better football coach than I am.
Brandon Staley plays like he's playing Madden Ultimate Team.
But like I watched this guy coach, man, and I think he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
The spread 50.5. What do you think of that spread?
You said what? 2.5?
No, the over is 50.5, not the spread. Jesus.
I like the over.
Points. I kind of like that over as well.
I mean, first of all, you got Kellen Moore making another real revenge game. Kellen Moore returning to Dallas as the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, with the Dallas offense being under the the play calling of Mike McCarthy. This is Kellen Moore has the chance to say, "Look, my offense is much better than yours." I do think the Chargers have the better quarterback. I think the Chargers have the better offensive line at the current juncture with the injuries that are on the Dallas offensive line. Kind of a toss-up for me. I like the over because I think Dallas's defense has been hampered since Trayvon Diggs went down, and the Chargers simply don't have a defense, which is funny because Staley's supposed to be a defensive head coach. But yeah, I'll rock with the Chargers in this one. You won't catch me dead praying or rooting for the Cowboys. But more importantly, I don't trust Mike McCarthy. I don't like Mike McCarthy as a play caller, and in prime time against a team that can actually score points against him, I don't know. The Cowboys have not faced overly impressive opponents, and at this current juncture,
you don't think the Patriots are an impressive team?
No, nor do I think the Giants or Jets are. Or Cardinals, even though they lost to them.
Yeah.
And then they played the 49ers last week, and they got their asses kicked. A lot of people are probably betting on the Cowboys in a buy low spot, quote unquote. But I don't really think it's a buy low spot. I think this is where these teams would be evaluated. They're on the road. They are facing a good team with a good passing attack. I'll take the Chargers.
All right. So
before we go, actually,
that'll wrap us up for anyone who. He's got a bonus bet.
I have a bonus prize picks entry for the fellas, based on my earlier bets. 2 players: Deonta Foreman more than 1.5 receptions, John Mechie over 18.5 receiving yards. I think it's free money.
All right. And for anyone who may have missed it before I sign off here, Ryan Tannehill has been carted off. I'm sure you all have Rapport notifications on.
Yeah.
Malik Willis is in for the Titans. Not as much, but yeah. Anyway, enjoy your Sunday, folks.
Amen.
Let's win some money.
Let's win some goddamn money.